taking a peek at the steering wheel as well as the head-up display inside of the VinFast VF8. Obviously, one thing to point out is that there's no traditional cluster. So your cluster is going to be the left side of the infotainment system. So this part of the infotainment system is fixed. And then from there, you've got fully customizable components on the right half. But actually, I guess I should say the right 2/3. But if you want a full walkthrough on the infotainment system, you'll find it down in the description of this video. There are a lot of things that you need to know. The first thing is that the steering wheel inside of the VF8 is heated. So inside of the infotainment system, you push this button, you can toggle on your heated steering wheel if you'd like to, and it's heated all the way around. You can also turn on your heated or ventilated first row seats and the heated or ventilated second row seats, which is amazing. Absolutely love it. But getting ahead of myself here. Now, in order to adjust the steering wheel, a little bit of an odd setup, but not impossible all at the same time. So there are a series of different switches along this side. So if you hit the little steering wheel button, you might just be able to see, hold on, let's go this way. There we go. So you've got your little steering wheel icon there. So you're going to push that. And then once you've pushed that steering wheel icon, you could then utilize the left pad in order to move the steering wheel backwards, forwards, up or down in order to create that perfect position for you. When you're on the steering wheel page, you can also toggle your heated steering wheel on that way instead. Pretty useful. And then even the side view mirrors are different. So rather than there being traditional switches along the side, you utilize it through the infotainment systems, the left versus the right side. And same idea, once you have that enabled, so the left versus the right, you utilize that pad in order to be able to move the side view mirrors up and down, left or right, whatever the case may be, for that perfect position for you. You can auto fold the mirrors, auto tilt when in reverse as well, which is a useful one. So if you have put yourself into reverse, you can see there, mirrors are automatically going to tilt down, which is a pretty useful setting in my opinion. But a lot of other things that you're going to need to know here. So those are the basics. But yeah, like I said, if you want a full walkthrough, you'll find it down below. But you've got a full lighting control. So I recommend you keep yourself in auto mode the majority of the time, but you can have your lights on mode, there's parking mode, off mode as well. And then you can also toggle your fog lamps on or off right through the screen there too. So really useful. Now this pad, outside of that, so you can see there, when you're not in the adjusting mode, you can go up or down in order to adjust your volume. You can also go left and right in order to be able to adjust your music. So if you were on a different source by pushing the source button there, so Bluetooth, music, etc., it's essentially whatever media you've got enabled. So if you were hooked up over Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, whatever the case may be, that would also show up. But you could go left or right this way in order to be able to seek, and then you can also do a push and hold there if you wanted to do a faster seek instead, which is pretty neat. And then, like I mentioned, up or down in order to adjust your volume. And then there's just a generic OK button. So if you ever get any messages, you can just push OK to get them to go away. You've got this button, which is going to be for answering a hand on a phone call. There's a voice command prompt there as well. So you do have to have Alexa enabled in order to be able to do it. So you need to sign into your Alexa account in order to use it. But you'd be able to do things like make phone calls, you can navigate using your voice, and use a number of other things. If you were hooked up through Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you're also going to do a longer push and hold there in order to activate either your Google or your Siri Assistant instead. And as I mentioned, this one to change your active sources. And then you've got a series of different buttons here, and this is going to be for the adaptive cruise control system. So using it, you turn the system on. So as you're driving, so when you're in drive, you hit this to toggle the system on as you're driving, and that's going to set it at whatever your current speed is. But when you get to speed, you could set it and turn it on. You could then go up or down to increase or decrease 1 kilometer or 1 mile per hour at a time, and then left and right in order to adjust your gap. So it's how close or far are you away from the vehicle that's in front of you. I want you to think of that one like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi type of a rule, but you've got that option. You can press the middle button there in order to cancel your speed temporarily, push again to resume. You can hit the brake to temporarily pause it, and then same idea, button press in the middle to resume. There's also a full lane centering system. So it's not a self-driving car, so it doesn't have that capability, but when you have these systems enabled on the highway, it gets really dang close at the same time, because the adaptive cruise system, that's going to take you down to a full stop. So on the highway, let's say if traffic's crazy, it can slow you down to a complete stop, pick you back up to your set speed again. And as I mentioned, with this one enabled, it keeps you perfectly balanced in your lane as you go. There's also a speed limiter, I should say, on top of that if you wanted to enable that one, but that's going to be a matter of preference. See there are cameras there that are going to watch your eyes to make sure you're paying attention on the road. And then you've got a series of different sticks. So on the left side, there's a button on the tip of that stick, and that's going to be to jump between all of your different odometer modes. So there's like a trip A counter, a trip B counter, your your auto mode, so when the vehicle is last turned on or that was reset, and then your total odometer on top of that. Then you can push away in order to get your high beams flashed out if you were in the mode outside of auto. So if your lights were on, push away for those high beams, pull towards you in order to turn them off. But in the auto mode, what happens is if the vehicle recognizes high beams are needed, it's going to turn them on. If somebody's oncoming, it's going to dim them automatically before bringing them right back on again. And then, as always, you've got your blinkers with it showing you right in your cluster screen what's going on with your blinker there. So straightforward in order to be able to use this. Along the right-hand side, you've got what's going on with your wipers. So you've got a few different speed options that are available there. And then you can also toggle on your rear wiper by going this way too. You're going to twist in order to get your rear wiper fluid going. You're going to pull towards you to get that front wiper fluid going as well. So it's really straightforward being able to toggle this. And then there's an auto mode button on the outside of that stick. So you can put yourself into an auto mode instead if you wanted to. Now, outside of that, so there's no traditional cluster, but yeah, look at that. You can see that. There is, get myself out of the auto mode there. There we go. And got a full head-up display inside the vehicle. And the head-up display is nice. So you can see what gear you're currently in, your current battery level. You've also got current road speed, and then you've just got your vehicle. But as you're driving, if you've got any of the safety settings turned on, like the adaptive cruise control, things like that, you've got different options that'll come up right inside of the head-up display. And then through the infotainment system, you've also got the flexibility of being able to toggle a few things on as well. So if we look over, you can see a few different things. So this is essentially going to be your full head-up display. So if you had the route going, it's going to show up your current time, your current vehicle speed, your adaptive cruise control system, and all of these other systems enabled. You can tweak up the color. So if you wanted a more unique color, you've got the flexibility to do it. If you want your navigation showing, your driving aids and things like that. And then you can also adjust the brightness inside of the head-up display as well. And you can also edit the position along the very top. It's the same idea. So adjusting out, hold on, let's flip you over that way. Using this guy, we can also adjust the position. So you can go up, down, left, right, whatever the case may be, to really customize the head-up display and make it easier for you to see. But like I said, there are so many different things that you can customize inside of this screen. So you've got your side view mirrors, your steering wheel adjustment, your head-up display. You can control the sunroof, and then there are some quick controls there as well. So you'll be able to turn your traction stability control on off, go into a camp mode, pet mode, whatever the case may be. So I'm kind of torn because driving without a traditional head-up display, or I should say cluster screen, is different for sure. But once you get the hang of the head-up display and all the full controls here, really, really straightforward to use. I love the little VinFast logo there. Oh, that's nice. But I know that's simple, but there's no traditional cluster screen. So that's everything that you need to know about the steering wheel as well as the head-up display inside of the VF8.